All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Civic Arena in Paynesville, Minnesota, as the River Lake Stars take on the Buffalo Bison. If I get distracted, I'm also running the music for the arena today, so I apologize. All right, Balloon will take the draw. She's out there with Davis and Martinka. Buffalo takes that draw back, pushes it forward. Hepner gets in front of it. Puck comes out. Balloon moves it forward across center ice. Davis chips it up to the blue line. Buffalo chases it down into their zone, but Martinka holds it in the zone. Now thrown all the way out through the neutral zone. Back into the Star zone. Hepner's going to retreat to grab it. She plays it up the wall looking for Davis. Comes outside the zone, and that'll be a whistle for offsides. Davis brings the puck into the zone. Now Martinka shoots and scores! Davis to Martinka to put the Stars up 1-0. 33 seconds into the first period. Angela's phone doesn't like me, so the music is hard to pause. Puck comes over to the near side. Prosser gets tied up in her feet and brings it back into the zone. Picked up along the end wall by Willa Prosser. She plays it forward to Akerson along the boards. Out to the center ice to Barton. Barton beats the defender. Puck comes over to the far side of the wall. She skates behind the net. Centers, and just out of Akerson's reach. Now Buffalo will take that puck, move it forward, but Barton steals it. She fires a shot. It deflects up into the air and over the net. Puck's on the back of the net, and that'll be a whistle. Haglund, Garner, Balloon for the Stars. Puck goes to the corner. Balloon pins it up in the wall. Plays it along the wall. Over to Haglund. Now the puck comes out, but held in by Wagner. She fires a shot. It's deflected and stopped in front. Balloon fighting for it, and all those feet. Slung over to the side. Buffalo tries to play it out, but Haglund gets a stick on it. Now it's played out in the neutral zone. Dolly gets a hold of it. Skates it forward, and brings it in just a little offside. Face-off will come just outside the Buffalo zone. Played back to Dolly. Dolly fires it in. Goalie plays it off to the side of the net. Davis chases onto it, steals it, tries to put it in. It's up on the side of the net. And that'll be another whistle for the puck on the side of the net. Puck comes out into the neutral zone. Hepner retreats to grab it. She plays it out to Davis at center ice. Davis across center ice. Gets bumped off it, then gets back to it. Throws it into the deep zone. Picked up by Buffalo behind the net. Balloon chases onto it. Pins her against the wall. When the puck sneaks out, Martinka takes her down. No call. Puck comes back to the far side corner. Balloon plays it out to the point for Prosser. Bouncing puck. She controls. Fires a shot. Tipped just wide of the net. Nice tip there in front. Now Buffalo takes that puck. Balloon steals it from her. Moves it out to the point for Prosser. She fires a shot. Bounces in between the goalie's legs, and she'll hold on to it. Face off, pulled to the side, picked up by Prosser. She'll skate it behind the net. Switches places with Hepner. Skates along the blue line, over to the far side, in through the face-off dot. Fires a shot. It gets deflected wide. Barton finds it. Passes it across under Prosser's stick. Willis steps up to keep that one low. Buffalo with it in the corner. Pass out through the middle. Off of Hepner sticking out to center ice, but Prosser skates back onto it. Slows her down. Now dumped in by Buffalo. Akerson's going to find it. She chips it off the boards, looking for Prosser. Banks it off the boards out to Barton, just out of her reach. Buffalo brings it back into their zone. Barton goes down. Buffalo skating through their zone with it. Playing it out to the neutral zone where Wagner's there to intercept. She moves it over the far side wall and dumps it into the zone. Buffalo picks it up at the half wall. Played behind the net by Buffalo. Breakout pass up the half wall. Hagelin gets a stick on it, deflects it out to center ice, and Dolly plays it forward. Puck comes out to center ice. Dolly picks it up, skates it to the far side, banks it off the wall. Picked up by Buffalo. Play back towards the star zone. Picked up by Dolly. Fires it off the boards. Buffalo intercepts at center ice. D-to-D pass across the blue line, out to center ice. Buffalo crosses center ice, into the star zone, winds and fires. Peterson with the glove save, and she'll hold on to it for a whistle. Face up. Pulled back by Buffalo. Shot deflected wide of the net. Picked up by Davis in the corner. She'll ring it up the boards. Buffalo's got it at the point. She's going to dump it in. Picked up by Wagner behind the net. She skates forward with it. Banks it off the wall looking for Martinka. Bounced off Martinka's stick to the blue line, but held in by Buffalo. Now pressed up against the wall. Martinka and Dolly fighting for it against the wall. Buffalo will skate it out. Throw it towards the net, but Wagner's there to intercept. Wagner up the near side. Pressured against the wall. Dumps that puck in. Buffalo rings that puck out to the point where Wagner is there for it. She dumps it in. Prosser finds it on the end wall. Skates it up. Has trouble with it. Bounces. Turns around. Keeps it in the zone, but Buffalo throws it out into the neutral zone. And all the way down for icing. Face-off will come to the right side of the Buffalo goaltender. Out to the point for Prosser. She fires a shot. It deflects wide of the net. Akerson chases over to it. Tries to throw it out front. Hits the side of the net. Barton with a wraparound attempt. Puck comes back to her. Now over to Balloon. Now in front again. Buffalo will take it away. Skating up the far side. Pressure from Akerson turns that puck back towards their blue line. Now Buffalo moves it across center ice. Dumping it into the zone. She'll have to hold up there as her friend was offside. Barton steals that one. Streaks into the zone. Tries to move it. Gets it to Balloon. Fires a shot over the net. Pass out to the point. Goes past Hepner. No icing as we threw that puck down. Prosser skates forward. She's pinned up. Now the puck sneaks out. Akerson tries to get to it. It bounces over to Balloon. Balloon skating forward with Akerson. Pass just out of Akerson's reach. And the puck will go down to the corner and behind the net. Picked up by Buffalo. Dolly keeps that one in the zone. Dumps it back low. Puck comes to the far side wall. Bounces off that Zamboni ridge and up to Wagner. She gets to Garner, who shoots and hits the pipe. Now picked up by Dolly along the wall. Buffalo will take it off the wall. Try to get it out. Hagelin stops it there. Gets it to Garner. Garner skates it into the far side of the zone. She's pressured. Skates through one. Banks that puck off the wall. Gets to Akerson. Now comes out to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot through traffic. Glove save from the goalie. And we'll get a whistle. Prosser will take the draw. She's got Garner and Hagelin out there with her. Puck sits in the middle. Garner tips it back to the corner. Comes out to Wagner. She fires a shot from the point. Deflects into the goalie. And she turns it to the side. Buffalo takes that up the near side wall, off of Dolly's skate and out to the neutral zone. Wagner gets to it, fires it over the wall. Now she'll push it up into the zone. Buffalo, D-to-D pass in their zone. Now pass out to center ice. Wagner gets over in front of it and intercepts. She'll bank it off the wall and into the zone. Picked up by Martinka behind the net. Skated off the wall. She'll turn it back, throws it in front. The goalie gets a stick on it as it comes in front. Now played out through the neutral zone. And Wagner's going to get to it before it gets to the goal line. Wagner up the far side, banks it off the boards out to the neutral zone, looking for Martinka. Back to Wagner. Now Wagner moves it forward to Balloon. Balloon gets it across to Davis. Davis fires a shot. It deflects. Rebound comes back to Martinka. Up the wall to Hepner. Hepner tries to fire a shot. It hits a stick in front, comes back to her. Now Buffalo gets it out of the zone to the neutral zone. Get it across center ice and shot down by Buffalo. Hepner's going to grab that, skate it behind the net, move it across to Wagner, off of Wagner's stick. Moves it to Davis, who chips it out into the neutral zone. Buffalo's going to hustle back and grab it. Pass out into the neutral zone. Intercepted there by Hepner. Dumped into the zone. Now out to center ice. Buffalo carrying that puck in. Tipped off of her stick by Prosser to keep it out in the neutral zone. Now Buffalo gets it into the zone along the wall. Comes off the wall. Prosser fires it. Hits Barton in the skate. Barton gets a hold of it. Banks it off the wall. Gets it forward to Emery. Emery gets that pass across to Akerson. Akerson all alone. Fires a shot. Saved by the goalie. Another shot off the side of the net. Now the goalie's going to cover that. Right there. Face off, pulled back to the point to Prosser. Fires a shot into the body of that defender in front of her. Now Buffalo skated out across center ice. Into the star zone. Tries to make a shot. It's deflected by Prosser. Comes out to the point. Pressured by Barton out into the neutral zone. Barton moves it across. Akerson's going to get to it before it hits the line. Centers. Goalie got a stick on it. Comes out. Barton gets a stick on it. Keeps that one down towards the corner. Akerson gets hooked. No call. Prosser finds it in the corner. Passes out to Wagner. Fires a quick shot. Barton gets to it. Backhands it. Puck's bouncing around outside of the crease. Comes out to Prosser. Out to Wagner at the point. Fires a low shot. Tipped off the goalie's leg, and she'll cover. .5:37 remaining in this first period. Face-off comes back to Dolly. She throws a shot wide of the net. Goes to the far side, picked up by Garner. She'll play back to the corner where Balloon finds it. Skates it along the end wall, pinned up against the wall. Gets it back out to Garner. Garner, slowed down in the corner. Gets it out to Wagner at the point. Wagner skates it forward, fires a high shot off a helmet in front, drops down outside of the crease, but Buffalo is able to get to it. They're going to throw it out into the neutral zone. Wagner's too fast, so it's not going to be an icing. Cross ice pass looking for Garner. Missed her. And we'll get an icing call. Face-off, pulled back in the corner, picked up by Hepner. She's going to skate forward with it. Looking for a pass up to center ice. Hits Martinka at center ice. Martinka gets it across to Davis. Davis into the zone with it. Fires a shot wide of the net. Bounces off the end wall. Buffalo takes it, but Davis gets back over to it. Pressure put on by Martinka. Turns it back to the far corner. Buffalo tries to make a pass out. Intercepted by Balloon. Balloon skates it through the corner. Tries to cut in front of the net. She's pushed back towards behind the net. Now into the corner. Hepner will step up to help hold that one low. Puck coming up the near side. She whiffs on a pass. Now she gets to it and gets it out through the neutral zone. Rolling on end for icing. Hepner keeps that one in the zone. Buffalo plays it off the wall. Barton steals it. Barton walks forward, fires a shot. Rebound comes out into the crease. Buffalo clears it out. Puck cleared out by Buffalo. If that makes it, it'll be icing. And it did. Face-off will come to the left side of the Buffalo goaltender. Face-off pulled to the far side boards. Out to Prosser at the point. She fires a shot through traffic. Tipped down off the goalie's glove. Now it's on the back of the net again. That's the third time this game. It's the first time this season we've had that whistled for being on the back of the net. Third time this game. Dolly and Wagner check on for the Stars. Oh, I forgot to play music that whistle. My bad. Face off, pulled to the boards. Out to Wagner. She skates through one. Fires a shot through traffic wide of the net. Dolly's going to sneak in to grab it. She skates it down into the corner. Pins it up against the wall in the corner. Now the puck sneaks out. Prosser grabs it along the end wall. Her stick got stuck to the wall. Now it's centered by Akerson. But Buffalo got a hold of it. Dolly jumps in to keep that one low. It bounces off her stick and comes over to Prosser. Now to Barton. Barton fires a shot, hits a shin pad in front, over to Akerson. Puck comes up the far side wall, stuck on that Zamboni door. That is quite the obstacle we've built over there this season. Barton pins her against the wall, but she's able to throw that puck forward. Now they're going to ring it back the other way. To that dreaded Zamboni door again. She has trouble with it as her stick bounced over it. But she skates it out through the neutral zone. Cross center ice. Prosser pins her up there. Slows her down. A good stick on it by Hagelin, but it goes right back to a Buffalo player. Played out to the point for Buffalo. Now run down the boards. Picked up in the corner by Garner. She plays it back around the net. Dolly's going to hustle back to get to it. Sneaks past her, but Wagner gets to it. Fires a pass out looking for Prosser. Comes out through and goes to Garner. Garner brings it in the zone. Fires a shot. Goalie saves it with her blocker. Puck along the end wall. Hagelin steals it, centers it. Buffalo gets to it. No skate forward. Trying to get it out of the zone off of Garner's stick up into the air. Now Garner steals it from her and brings it back into our zone. Picked up by Garner. Behind the net. Cuts middle. Puck bounces out into the neutral zone. Davis brings it into the zone. She's knocked down. Now Buffalo's going to skate forward with the puck. Hepner gets to her. Plays that one back into the Buffalo blue line. Sneaks past Prosser and gets back to Willa Prosser. Willa finds it behind the net. Moves it forward up from Martinka. Off of Martinka's stick. Stays in the zone. Shot fired. Peterson saves. And now Davis up the near side. Passing forward, looking for Prosser, who's all alone at the blue line. Bounces off of Prosser, stick into the corner. Puck sits in the corner, now moved up by Buffalo. Held in the zone by Willa. She fires a shot through traffic. Goalie saves it with her leg. Picked up by Martinka. She's going to fire a shot on net. Goalie saves it. Puck sneaks through. Now Davis gets it centers, but Buffalo's there to intercept. She's going to skate it out in the neutral zone. Hepner intercepts her dump-in attempt. Hepner skating forward with the puck. Brings it into the zone. Far side up the boards. Skating it around behind the net. She's pressed off of it. Now comes up the near side. Willa steps in to keep that one in. Now Davis dumps it further in and goes for a change. Good pressure from Balloon to turn that puck back to the corner. Picked up behind the net by Buffalo. She cuts middle. Puck sneaks out. Balloon gets to it, keeps it in the zone. Moves it forward. Barton moves forward with it. Gets it back to Balloon. Fires a shot. Comes off the goalie and wide of the net. And puck's along the end wall. Barton pins her up. Puck comes over to Balloon. Centered by Balloon off the side of the net. Comes over to Akerson. Tries to center. Buffalo grabs it. Puck's on the back of the net again for the fourth time this game. Face off. Pulled to the near side. Barton trying to get to it. She's circles, fires a shot, and that'll do it for the first period. Stars lead 1-0 after one. All right, the Stars are in white, moving from left to right. Buffalo in black, moving from right to left. Garner decides she's going to play right wing, so switches sides with Hagelin. Face-off pulled back by Buffalo. Played across the blue line to their point. Up across center ice, into the zone. Stick on it from Dolly. Slows that one down, gets it to Hagelin. Hagelin has trouble with it there in the slot. Emery Prosser steps in to help, gets it out into the neutral zone. Puck dumped in by Buffalo. Along the end wall, Wagner has it. Turns back, fires it forward, looking for Hagelin. It's past Hagelin. Buffalo gets it. Pinned up against the Zamboni door. Sneaks out of there. Hagelin moves it forward. Prosser gets a stick on it, not out of the zone. Now Hagelin will skate forward with it across center ice. Into the zone. She cuts middle. Fires a shot wide of the net. Picked up by Prosser behind the net. She skates it out, moves it back towards Garner, who plays it out to Wagner. Wagner fires a shot low, hits the goalie, and goes wide. Now it comes out. Davis sneaks in, trying to get to it. Wagner's going to jump in, keep that one low. Fights through that. Now gets it down to Davis. Davis skates it behind the net. Center gets it to Emery Prosser. Now the puck sneaks out. Davis gets a stick on it, moves it to Dolly. Dolly gets it back to Davis, just behind her, but Davis will skate over to it. Behind the net, skates though, leaves it for Dolly at the point. Dolly fires a shot through traffic, off the goalie and wide. Picked up by Martinka in the corner. Plays it out to Dolly at the point. Dolly fires a shot through traffic, stick save by the goalie. Now it comes out, Buffalo up the near side. She's pressed to the wall by Wagner, slowed down. Now Martinka sneaks through, takes that puck away. Fires it, but right to the Buffalo point. Buffalo skates it along the blue line, tries to center. Puck's sneaking around in there. Now it's bounced out by Dolly. Shot on, Peterson saves. Puck's still loose. Peterson's trying to cover. Peterson makes a good save and then a save on the rebound, tries to cover and decides she's going to shove that girl out of there instead of covering the puck. That got a little interesting. Balloon will take the draw. Face off from near side, out to the Buffalo point. Shot through traffic, deflects wide of the net, picked up by Willa Prosser. Willa banks it off the boards, looking for Akerson. Chips it off the boards, now to the neutral zone. Barton skates up onto it. Now Buffalo moving forward with it. Into the Stars zone. She hits the brakes, dumps it into the corner, picked up by Hepner. She'll play it across. Balloon's there for it. Passes it forward to Barton. Barton, pass to the far side. And that'll be icing. Oh gosh, my camera mount just decided to rotate here. Sorry about that. Face off, come to the left side of Peterson. Puck sits underneath the centers. Hepner steps in to take that one out of there. Hits the brakes behind the net. Plays it up to the far side. Barton with it. Flings it out into the neutral zone. Buffalo intercepts, but they throw it right back to Barton. She gets it to Balloon. Balloon in through everybody. Winds fires. Blocker saved by the goalie. Centered. Comes through everybody. Out to Prosser at the point. Prosser fires a shot. Deflected wide by the Buffalo defender. Akerson tries to center, but Buffalo's there to intercept. Hepner gets a stick on it. Stops that one. Puck goes to the far side boards. Played forward by Buffalo. Intercepted by Prosser. Move forward. Barton finds it. Gets it in her feet. Can't take it into the zone with her. Now it comes back to Hepner. Hepner fires it out to Balloon. Balloon gets it to Barton. Barton fires one just wide of the net. It bounces back and almost hits the goalie in the back as it comes off of the end wall. Puck up the far side wall. Pressure by the Stars. Hepner fires a shot. Saved by the goalie. Face off, pulled back, Prosser tries to fire a shot. It's intercepted there by Buffalo. They're going to skate back behind their net with it. Buffalo gets it out of the zone, but Dolly gets a foot on it, slows it down. She throws it in. Prosser is into the zone still, so offside's the call. Puck moved out to the neutral zone by Buffalo. Play back into the Buffalo zone. Passed across. Garner gets to it. She smacks it forward into the Buffalo zone. Now chases it down. Buffalo moves it in front of their net. Play to the far side wall. Now Dolly grabs it. She's going to fire it forward. Bounces off the Buffalo player right to Garner. Garner brings it into the zone. Up the near side, out to the neutral zone. Wagner takes it, moves it across to Dolly. Dolly winds, fires, dumps that one in, but Buffalo's there. Buffalo up the near side boards, knocked into the boards by Martinka. And Martinka's going to get a body check penalty. Body checking the call. Well, he gave the signal for body check, but called it a rough when he pulled the box. So a minute and a half on the penalty for Martinka. Stars will go on the penalty kill. Puck stolen by Prosser. She moves it out into the neutral zone. Skates across to everybody into the zone. Up the far side wall. She's bumped off of it by Buffalo. She hits the brakes back in the corner. She rings around the boards. Puck comes out to the point, held in by Prosser. She fires a shot. Goalie saves off of her stick. Rebound comes out. Hepner steps in with it. Fires a shot. Tipped by Barton, and the goalie holds on to it. Face-off will come to the right side of the Buffalo attendee. Akerson fires a backhand shot. It goes wide of the net. Picked up by Buffalo in the corner. Akerson holds that one in. Now Buffalo gets it out into the neutral zone. Hepner steals that one in the neutral zone. Skates it forward. Bounces along the wall. Gets it to Akerson. He fires it in. 35 seconds remaining in that penalty to Martinka. Puck comes out in the neutral zone. Hepner steps in front of that one again. Skates forward with it. She's got Balloon with her. Fires a shot off of the goalie. Bounces right over to Balloon. She can't get a hold of it to get a shot off. Now Balloon takes it behind the net. Skates forward with it. Passes it out to Hagelin at the point. Shot into traffic. Bouncing through bodies and feet. Balloon throws a shot on. Rebound comes out. Goalie didn't have it covered. But we get a whistle. Face off full back. Wagner steps in for it. It goes past her. Buffalo skates it out into the neutral zone. Wagner gets back to it. Plays that one. Not quite out. Hits crosser. Stays in the zone. Pass across to the far side corner by Buffalo. Dolly gets to it. Smacks it. Fires a shot. Peterson saves. Rebound comes out. Garner grabs it. She plays it off the boards out into the neutral zone. Fired forward. Dolly steps forward with it. Moves it to Garner. Garner brings it into the zone. Around the defender. Fires a shot. Goalie saves it. Puts it to the corner. But Garner gets back to it. Then falls down. Dolly up the side with it. Fires a shot on net. Stick save. Shot back by Prosser off of the goalie and wide of the net. Davis is pinned up against the wall with it. Moves it back towards behind the net. Back to Davis after Prosser separated that girl from the puck. Puck sitting at everybody's feet, bouncing around. Now Buffalo plays it out. Martinka finds it, shovels it. It's up in the air. Comes out to the Buffalo player just outside the circle. She's going to skate forward with it. Wagner keeps her wide. Skating through a stick there, up across center ice. Into the near side of the zone. Tries to fire a shot. Puck dribbles to the end wall. Picked up and skated. Now left there by Buffalo behind the net. Dumped out by Buffalo, and that'll go for icing. Prosser fires from the point, tipped by Balloon, goes wide of the net. Comes out to the point for Prosser. She fires a shot. It's tipped again by Balloon. Now Barton finds it. Tries the center, goes under Akerson's stick and out to a Buffalo player. Buffalo across center ice with it. She cuts back, but it's stolen by Hepner. Hepner pins it against the wall. Now Balloon skates over and helps out, moves it forward. Akerson skates up onto it, brings it into the zone. Pulls it back to her backhand. Backhand shot. Rebound, Barton. And the goalie's got it covered. Face off, pulled over to Hagelin, out to point to Hepner. She fires a shot, hits the side of the net. Hagelin tries to center, and Buffalo takes that away. Now it's the point. Hepner grabs it, fires one wide of the net into the corner. Hagelin chases onto it, leaves it for Garner. Garner moves it up the wall. Prosser helps her out there. Buffalo plays it out, held in by Hepner, off of her stick. Now she'll dump it into the corner. Picked up by Buffalo, pressured by Hagelin. Now comes back over to Hepner along the wall. And Hagelin sneaks it out of there and throws it behind the net. Garner gets in front of that one, doesn't let them clear it out of the zone. Puck's underneath their feet. Now Buffalo steps in to take it, but Davis gets to it, gets it to Prosser. Prosser behind the net. Leaves it for Hepner. Hepner behind the net. Centers for Prosser, shot on, rebound comes right back out to her. Davis steps in, can't get a shot off, comes out to Prosser at the point. Prosser skates forward with it. And Prosser is going to go for a cross check. And the Stars go back on the penalty kill. Wagner, Dolly, Akerson, Barton on the penalty kill for the Stars to start. 5:33 remaining in the second. Minute 30 the penalty to Prosser for cross check. Puck bounces free. Wagner grabs it. Skating forward with it. Bounces off the wall. Skates up onto it. Brings it into the zone. Fires one. Goes behind the net. Sneaks out to Barton. Barton cuts it back towards the middle, but Buffalo is able to get a stick on it. Puck played out into the neutral zone by Buffalo. And that's icing. They are cherry picking back at our blue line and got the puck sprung to her, but she couldn't get to it. Barton will take the draw. Oh, I forgot to start music again. Barton wins the draw, pulls it back to Wagner. Wagner steps forward, fires a shot wide of the net. Puck rings over to the far side corner. Dolly's can jump in on it, throws it towards the net. Cherry picking at our blue line again. Now Akerson fires it off the boards, keeps it in. Barton steals that puck. Gets to Akerson. Puck's in the corner. She's pushed off it by Barton. Dolly fires a shot off the pipe and wide. Now Akerson gets it behind the net, cuts middle. Shot saved by the goalie. Buffalo bringing the puck up the near side. Pass across off of Dolly's shin pad and goes back into the Star zone. Picked up by Wagner on the end wall. She's slowed down on the end wall. Turns back this way. Fires it up the boards. Held in by Buffalo. Shot from the points intercepted by Akerson. Akerson skating through the middle. Into the Buffalo zone. Cuts back to a forehand. Fires a shot. Saved by the goalie. Rebound comes right back out. And Buffalo grabs it. Pass across from Buffalo. Hepner gets a stick on it. Goes into the corner. She's ridden into the corner by that Buffalo player. Has it pinned up against the wall. She's tripped. I don't know how we don't call that. Puck comes out of the zone, and that'll be offsides. Prosser will take the draw. Comes back to Buffalo. They try to fire it forward, but Hagelin gets in front of it, pushes it down to the Buffalo zone. She turns and falls down, but Garner throws a shot wide of the net. Bounces over to the near side wall. Prosser steps in to hold it. No, Garner got to it before Prosser could even get to it. Now Emery finds it on the end wall. Emery skates it up the far side wall, falls down. The puck stays there for Hepner. Hepner fires a shot, hits Hagelin in the backside. And now Buffalo's going to skate forward with it. Prosser gets a stick on that one. It deflects into the corner. Picked up by Willa. Will's bounced off it. The puck comes to Emery. She moves it forward, but Buffalo's there at the point to throw a shot in. Hagelin stops that shot. Now it comes out to Garner. Lots of good cheering from the bench. That was a Wagner voice I heard for sure. Garner fires a shot, glove save, and she'll cover. Face-off pulled back by Balloon to Prosser at the point. She fires a shot, tipped by Balloon and into the net for a goal. Stars take a 2-0 lead with 2:41 remaining in the second period. That's about her fifth tip attempt, and this one was perfect. That's a Prosser to Balloon goal. Face-off pulled back by Balloon. Davis pushes it back to Hepner. Hepner fires it forward across center ice. Now Balloon gets to it. Davis will tip it into the zone. Now thrown forward by Buffalo to center ice. Davis is there to steal it. Davis moves it to Balloon, but couldn't quite get it to her. Now Hepner fires it into the zone. Buffalo's there to grab it, but Martinka steps in front of her, takes that puck away, fires a shot. It deflects up into the netting, and that'll be a whistle. Face-off will come to the right side of that Buffalo goaltender. Face-off sits underneath the center. Prosser digs it out of there. Now it gets to Akerson. She moves it to the point for Dolly. Dolly across to Wagner. Wagner lines, fires, tipped. Doesn't make it to the net. Now it comes back behind the net. Barton finds it. Passed across to the corner to Prosser. The ref gets in the way. And Akerson skates back onto it, slows her down. Puck comes back to Buffalo, and they come in offsides. Face-off will come here just in front of us, outside of the Star zone. Puck drawn back to Wagner. She throws it forward out into the neutral zone to Barton. Barton tips it to Dolly. Now the puck's pinned up against the wall. Dolly gets it out of there, fires it out across center ice. Now it's back to Dolly along the wall. She knocks that girl over. She tries to take it from her. Up the wall. Akerson gets a stick on it. Now it comes to Barton. And back into the Buffalo zone. They'll skate forward with it. Cross center ice up the far side. Tipped into the zone by Buffalo. Wagner's there for it behind the net. Buffalo pulls it out of the corner. Now Prosser takes it away. She's going to skate with it. Prosser up the far side. Fires it for Akerson. Onto her stick. Into the zone. She cuts back. Off of her to Barton. Barton loses it in her feet. Turns. Fires a shot wide of the net. Picked up by Akerson. She tries to center. It hits the side of the net. Now back to Akerson behind the net. Fires it out to Wagner. Fires a shot. Rebound. Bouncing around just outside the crease. Out of Barton's reach. Wagner backhand shot off the side of the net. Akerson to pick it up in the corner. She tries to fire it to the middle. Off a shin pad and back out. Now Wagner grabs it. Fires it across looking for Hepner. Hepner tips it out to the neutral zone. Barton grabs it. She'll skate it into the zone. Wines, fires a shot. It goes through everybody into the near side corner. Balloon hits the brakes and goes down. Picked up behind the net by Buffalo. She falls down. Skated forward by Buffalo across center ice into the near side of the zone. Pressured by Prosser and knocked down. Balloon will grab it. 5 seconds remaining in the period. Move forward, looking for Hagelin. Off a Hagelin's stick. Now she gets to it, brings it out in the neutral zone, and that'll do it for the second period. Stars lead 2-0 after 2. All right, back for third period action. Stars are in white, moving from right to left. Buffalo in black, moving from left to right. Stars leading in shots on goal, 31-5. Leading on the scoreboard, 2-0. That Buffalo Tendy has saved a lot of pucks today again. Face-off pulled back by Buffalo into their zone. Played up the wall. Martinka steps in front of it, holds the zone, throws it down towards the net, off of the goalie, and she'll cover it. It's in the net! That's a goal from Martinka from the point. The goalie thought she had it covered, and it trickled between her legs. And the Stars go up 3-0, 13 seconds into the third. Martinka with her second of the day. Face-off pulled back by Balloon. Prosser takes it, skates it forward, fires it in, hits a stanchion, bounces right over to Balloon. She fires a shot, glove saved by the goalie, rebound comes out. Buffalo takes it, skating forward with it. They've got numbers if they hurry. Up the far side, slowed down and dumped in. Puck slid out through the crease. Peterson dropped down but didn't grab it. Now Balloon will skate forward with it. Balloon into the zone with it. Makes a move. Goalie saves. Rebound comes out. Now the goalie will cover it. That was a very slow whistle. Face-off, pulled back, moved by Akerson to the point to Wagner. She fires a shot. It hits a stick and goes up in the air. Prosser gets over to it, moves it to Akerson behind the net. Akerson moves it back to Prosser in the corner. It goes behind her. Wagner steps in on it, skates forward with it. Has it come off of her skate, gets it back to Prosser. She cuts middle, shoots, hits the goalie. Puck sitting out in front of the crease. Now Prosser gets it back. Dolly with it at the point, moves it forward. Delayed penalty coming on Buffalo. Buffalo parents unhappy that they're finally getting a penalty. Cross-checking the call on number 6 from Buffalo. Face-off coming to the right side of that Buffalo goalie. Barton leaves that puck there. Dolly steps forward trying to keep it in the zone, but it sneaks out. Wagner back to grab it. She fires it across to Akerson, dumps it into the zone. Dolly grabs it off the wall, gets it to Prosser. Prosser fires a shot and scores! Dolly to Prosser on the power play goal. Stars take a 4-0 lead with 13:19 remaining in the third. Nice shot, Em. Face off, pulled back by Buffalo, played to their defenseman. Stolen by Hepner at center ice. She skates in with it, chopped off of her stick. Hagelin keeps it out of the zone. Back to Prosser at center ice. She skates forward with it. She's pressured as she comes into the zone, leaves the puck right on the blue line. Now Garner throws it in on net, turned away by the goalie. Balloon will find it in the corner, moves it to the point to Prosser. Prosser fires a shot, tipped off the goalie's leg. Hepner steps in on it, shoots. Rebound comes out, shoots again. Goal hits the goalie's leg. Banked off the end wall by Garner. Stolen by Hagelin, dumped back to the corner. Picked up by Garner behind the net. It's tipped off of her stick and goes to the corner. Now back to the end wall, picked up by Buffalo, kick forward. Buffalo tries to get it out of the zone. It comes out to Prosser at the point. She fires a shot. Goalie uses her stick to put it behind the net. Pressuring behind the net. Garner gets her to turn that. Nope, she gets back to it. Out to the point, off of Prosser's leg. Now she plays it in. That'll be offside. Face-off pushed into the Buffalo zone. The defenseman takes it, pressured by Davis. Gets it to the far side wall. Now tipped off of her stick. Buffalo maintains possession. Out into the neutral zone. Big pressure coming from Davis, but Buffalo dumps it in. Off the end wall, picked up by Wagner. Skated behind the net. Up the far side wall to Martinka. Martinka moves it forward to Prosser. Prosser up the far side with speed. Wines fires, glove saved by the goalie. Face-off pulled back by Prosser. Comes out to Wagner at the point. She fires a shot through traffic. Tipped wide of the net. Buffalo skating over to it, but stolen by Davis. Tries to center it. Goes through everybody, and Buffalo will grab it. Good stick on it by Wagner. Slows it down, but Buffalo gets back to it. Skates forward. Shot off of Peterson's face mask. It's in front of her. She's got it covered. And she'll hold on to it. Face off, pulled to the far side wall, out to the point for Buffalo. They're going to fire one in. It's tipped, saved. Now it comes out. Barton grabs it. She fires it forward to Akerson, tips off of Akerson. Buffalo grabs it. Back to Hepner. Hepner pressed against the wall, loses the puck there. Buffalo skates it in the zone, but Prosser gets to it. Up into the bench, and that'll be a whistle. .47 remaining in this third period. Face-off, 600 balloon, now it's moved over. Hepner gets it forward. Thrown on net, Peterson saves, turns it back to the wall. Prosser finds it on the wall, and she's pinned up there. Help comes from Balloon. She comes in and grabs the puck. Moves it forward to Garner. Garner at center ice. She's got a one-on. She beats that girl. Makes a move off the goalie's leg, rebounded by Balloon into the goalie's chest, and she'll hold on to it for a whistle. Face off, pulled back out to the point for Hepner. Hepner fires a shot into traffic, doesn't make it all the way into the net. Out into the neutral zone, Buffalo skating it up the near side. She loses it, Prosser finds it. Up the far side, off of Garner's stick. Now played forward by Buffalo, back into the star zone, picked up by Prosser. Willow loses that. Peterson makes the save. Hepner moves it forward to Garner. Garner into the zone. Pulls it back, fires a shot. Off the goalie, sits in front of the crease. Now it comes to the far side. Hepner grabs it. Plays it to Wagner. Wagner forward to Martinka. Off of Martinka's stick, she fires it in. Emery gets a stick on that one, slows it down, but Buffalo gets it out across center ice into the star zone. Left there along the wall, Prosser finds it. Firing it across, looking for Davis. Davis is going to have to hustle to get to it, but Buffalo beats her. Behind the net with it, skating up the far side. Pressure from Davis makes her lose that puck into the corner. Prosser throws it along the end wall. Davis is going to chase over to it. Buffalo moving it up the wall, but pressured by Martinka. Puck comes out. Dolly at the point, kicks it to keep it in. Now she bounces it off the wall. Martinka steps forward with it. Fires a shot off the shin pad in front of her. Now Martinka follows it, keeps it along the wall. It comes out to Wagner, fires a shot, tipped into the goalie's chest, and she'll cover. Face off, pulled back into the corner by Buffalo. She moves that puck forward across the blue line out to center ice. Barton tangles up with her, leaves that puck at center ice. Akerson gets to it, moves that puck forward into the zone. She's pressured. She tries to get a shot, but she's knocked off it. The puck goes to the corner. She stands up and keeps that puck moving. Now gets it to Balloon. Balloon hits the brace behind, leaves it for Akerson. Fires a shot into the goalie's stick. Now it comes back up to Dolly. Dolly fires a shot, and she scores! Akerson to Dolly and puts the Stars up 5-0 with 8:16 remaining in the third. Face off pulled back by Prosser. Willa Prosser finds it, moves it forward to Garner. Garner gets it into the zone. Brings it forward. Buffalo takes it, skates it behind the net. Skating it out into the neutral zone. Past Hepner. Now Hepner skates back onto it, gets a stick on it to slow her down, and the puck goes to the corner. Taken away by Prosser, skated up the far side. Moves that puck past her. Gets back to it, fires a shot off of the goalie, rebound comes out, and Buffalo gets to it, moves it to the near side. Right up to the point, Hepner fires one, Prosser tries to chop it out of the air, it goes wide of the net. Puck left behind the net. Puck comes behind the net, picked up by Prosser. Centered, goes right behind her, Prosser grabs it. Fires a shot, glove save, drop by the goalie for a whistle. Face off, pulled back to the point, held in by Prosser. She throws it down to the near side corner. Picked up by Davis. She centers. Goes through everybody. Buffalo will take it. Skating up the near side with it. Along the wall. I don't know if the ref got in front of that puck or how that stopped, but now Davis gets it. Brings it into the zone. Fires one wide of the net. Balloon gets over to it in the corner. Tries to get it to Martinka, but Buffalo got a stick on it. Now Davis turns that back into the zone. Puck comes up. Buffalo skates it into the far side of the zone, hits the brakes, rings it around the boards. Picked up by Dolly, moved forward to Davis. Off of Davis is sticking back to the zone. Now Dolly, no, it comes back past Dolly. Wagner's just going to throw that out into the neutral zone. Martinka chasing. Buffalo banks it off the wall. Wagner steps forward with it, can't quite take it with her. Now Buffalo's going to skate it up the far side wall. They're going to dump it in on net. Peterson kicks it wide. Dolly moves it forward out into the neutral zone. Caught the Stars in the middle of a change. Now Barton takes it out. Into the zone. Cuts middle, brings the puck to the middle. Puck sits just outside the crease. Now it comes out. Dolly skates forward with it. Fires a shot. It deflects wide of the net. Prosser picks it up on the far side. Skating along the wall. Hits the brakes. Comes back towards the behind the net. She's pinned up against the wall. Akerson's going to go help out. Puck sitting under that Buffalo player's foot. Now it comes out. Akerson grabs it. Passes across looking for Barton. It sneaks off of her stick. Now Wagner throws a backhand shot on. The goalie will cover. And we'll get a whistle. Face off, pull back to the point for Prosser. Fires a high shot wide of the net. Hagelin finds the rebound off the end wall. Leaves it there. Buffalo takes it. Balloon gets in front of it. Gets it back to Hagelin. Hagelin knocks that girl down into the net. Now Buffalo skating forward with it. Makes a move, but Garner slowed her down. Now Hagelin gets a stick on it, stops the puck. Now dumped in by Buffalo, but Hepner keeps that one out, moves it to the neutral zone. Up the near side, Balloon with it. Takes it behind the net. She's tripped. Hard not to call that one when she's got her leg up in the air at her shoulder level. And the Stars will go on a power play. One and a half minutes on the power play for the Stars. 4:44 remaining here in the third period. I like my new camera angle. I'm using a new mount, so it gets me lower so we can see the scoreboard. Face up, pulled the near side boards. Hepner moves it across to Prosser. Prosser winds, fires, glove saved by the goalie, and that'll be a whistle. Face off, pulled to the far side boards. Back to Prosser. She winds, fires off the goalie's glove and wide of the net. Laid out to the point. Hepner holds it in. Now comes, sneaks back just out into the neutral zone. Prosser grabs it. Prosser moves forward into the zone with it. And we get an offsides call. .4:15 remaining. Pulled back by Buffalo, passed across, Akerson putting pressure on. Now Barton comes in to put pressure on, turns her back the other way. Akerson steals it in the corner, moves it up to Dolly at the point. Dolly winds, fires, tipped, hits the goalie's leg, sits outside. Another shot fired just wide, through the crease now. Prosser's gonna find it. Gets it to Barton, one-timer. Hits the pipe. Puck along the end wall. Prosser digs it out of there. Moves it to the half wall. Chops it out to Dolly. Dolly throws it back to Prosser. Off of Prosser, sticking into the corner. She digs it out of the corner. Moves it to Akerson behind the net. Off the side of the net out to Dolly. Dolly skates forward. Winds, fires off the goalie's blocker. Comes back out to Dolly. Another shot off the goalie's leg. Rebound comes right under Barton's stick. Out to the far side. Held in by Wagner. Down to the corner. Barton's going to race after that one and get to it first. She tries to center. Buffalo's there for it. Comes out to Prosser. She fires a shot. Goes wide of the net. Picked up by Akerson in the corner. Rings around the wall. Looking for Prosser. Prosser moves it forward to Dolly. Buffalo tips it out into the neutral zone. Pass across. And rolling on its edge, it curls into the zone. Offside's the call. Face off just outside the Buffalo zone. 2:59 remaining. Face off pulled back by Buffalo. Now move forward to center ice. Move forward by Prosser. Garner with it. Skates into the zone. Winds, fires. Shot tips off of two Buffalo players. The goalie was moving every direction. Comes back under Balloon's feet. Now Buffalo move it forward. Can't quite get a hold of it. Now it comes out of the zone. Balloon's going to fire that one in. Rings around the boards to the far side corner. Garner racing to get there. Digs it off the wall. Gets it to Hagelin. Now back to Garner on the wall. She banks it off the boards behind the net. Now Buffalo will skate forward with it. That's Hepner. We got a 3-on-1 here. Prosser keeps her wide. Tips that puck to slow it down. And Balloon gets back to grab it. Banks it off the wall to Hagelin. Puck comes out to Hagelin again. Can't get it out of the zone. Now it's dumped back into the corner. Prosser picks it up. Hits the brakes. Comes back to the near side. Skating forward with it. Prosser brings it out across center ice and dumps it softly. Rolling on edge all the way down to the Zamboni door. Pass intercepted at the blue line by Martinka. She'll fire a shot on. Off the goalie's stick and wide of the net. Minute 40 remaining. Buffalo pulls that puck out of that pile, skates it behind their net. Davis gets a stick on it. Stops her there. Puck goes to the far side wall. Now Martinka stops that pass attempt. Now they get it out to neutral zone. Hepner skates forward with it. Hits the brakes. Waiting for everybody to clear out of the zone. Moves it to Prosser. Prosser skating up the far side. Banks it off the board. Sitting just outside the zone. Martinka turns. Fires it into the zone. Puck's behind the net. Play to the far side corner. Dumped out by Buffalo. Dolly's going to have to hustle to get to it. Burns fires it back out in the neutral zone. Puck's sitting in a bunch of feet there as the Stars try to change again. Puck moved into the zone by Barton, but Buffalo's on it. Played out in the neutral zone. Picked up by Wagner. 30 seconds remaining. Wagner pulls it back, makes a move. Backhand shot, glove saved by the goalie. Puck comes out to the point, held in by Prosser. She moves it forward to Akerson along the wall. Akerson pulls it off the wall, throws it to the middle. Buffalo clears it back to the side. Buffalo along the end wall. Prosser pulls it off the wall. Tries to center it off of the Buffalo player. Back to Prosser. Backhand shot. Goalie saves. And that'll do it. Stars take the victory 5-0. That is Peterson's 12th shutout of the season. You are welcome, Brady and Abby. I believe our next game is next weekend against Alexandria. I'd have to look again, but we'll be back whenever it's time to be back.